Hello. Terry, hello. You know what I love about this class is that people like Terry that are in, is it Michigan? Can can join. And Jean, I think you're somewhere else too, right? And Nicole, you're in New Jersey. And Beth, you are in North Carolina or South Carolina. She's way, you're here in LA and you're with me on Tuesday. Um, Yeah, I am. Like, Nicole, it's crazy, but I feel like that. I was just playing like crazy music from like dancing music when I was getting ready, and I'm like fired up. But really, I think my biggest thing is that in 2023, I've kicked it up a notch because um, I find that most people want to do hard stuff. Yet, hopefully, I'm offering enough variation and modifications for those that need to modify. So that's where we're at. Do your best. Sorry, I had to turn on my clock so I could see all my time. I have a clock that I keep here, so I look to see like how long are we holding postures. So anything going on today, ladies? Hi, Stevie. Anything going on today with any of you that you want to discuss? Number one. Number two, I leave in 2 weeks for Bali. I leave 2 weeks from today, so I was doing a lot this morning on that. Super duper excited. And there could still be space for a person or two we could expand if we needed to. So if anybody was like, wow, wait a minute, I want to go to Bali, contact me. Starts August 30th. So anyway, neck and shoulders. All right. Neck and shoulders. So let's definitely focus on that, Jean, because that's important. And when you say neck and shoulders, meaning that they're sore or that you feel that that needs to be a stronger part of you for your bone health, because it does. So I'm not sure if that's what you were saying when you said that, but that's definitely an area of our body that we need to be strong when it comes to bone health, and an area that I've definitely thought of and focused on a little bit more recently. So stiff. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go back here, and even if someone else comes, I can't see them from here. I can't see anybody else that comes, but I would like to address that because that's kind of a new thing for me, has been a new revelation this week. Always trying to figure out for myself and for teaching the best ways to describe daily reminders of keeping ourselves in proper alignment, because that's really what matters. When the joints are aligned properly, then you're going to minimize bone breakdown by having the joints stacked. And then when you do your practice of yoga, you can actually create more stimulation safely when the joints are stacked. So one thing is posture, and spinal awareness is important. And so often throughout our day, our safe spinal space, the space that should exist for safe spine and healthy spine, gets compromised. So paying attention to that in your body is going to be a really important thing. And the latest thing that I thought of this week is, if I think about pushing my head back and my shoulder blades back, try that right now. Push the center of your head and your shoulder blades straight back, wherever you are. Do that. Head, shoulder blades, push them back. And that activates a lot of the stuff up here. So even for those of you that are experiencing a stiff neck, stiff shoulder, stiff upper back, part of that is because the average head is 10 pounds. And when that is looking forward, whether it's texting, cooking, whatever it is we're doing all day long, when we're looking forward, there's a tremendous tension that comes into the muscles of the upper back and neck. So if you push your shoulders back, push your head back, you're actually stacking and aligning cervical spine and thoracic spine. And so you take away the tension that goes into the muscles. You also strengthen the muscles that hold you upright. So that has been revelation of this week for me, is that piece of information. All right, let me make sure that this light is on. Okay, all right. Because the spine is really important when it comes to osteoporosis, I like to begin the practice with some kind of supported extension. You could do this with a rolled up blanket. You could put pillows behind your heart. I've got 2 blocks today. I like to show different things to do in case you do have access to all these props. I'm going to use the blocks like this. I'm going to put one down and one for my head. Now I can be low like that. For some of you, if you were trying this, you may need to have your block at that level or potentially this level. Putting the block behind your heart is pretty strong, right? This is a hard surface. The shoulder blades are going to be here. And then when I bring my arms out to the side, that's going to create a lot of stretch in the chest and the shoulder area. And this front part of the body, which gets tight from that forward movement we do all day. So that would be, this is going to be a little bit more of a not so gentle approach to stretching the upper back and neck area. For others, you may prefer to take your blanket and take it in the long fold. So take it pretty long and then roll it up. Roll it up in a tight column. And that becomes what you put on the mat, and you put your body on that. So let's come into the practice to begin to integrate the mind and the body, to bring yourself to the place where you can stay safe in your practice by really tapping into noticing your body and feeling. That begins the practice, closing the mouth, breathing in and out through the nose and connecting to breath. And doing this with a supported back bend posture so that we can start to stretch the front of the body. When you do come down, make sure you maintain the safe spinal space. You do not crunch your body to roll down. You either come to the side and bring yourself down like this, or if you are coming down like this, come down with a pretty flat back, real active core. Go slow until you come to your props. So if you are using the blocks or a blanket or anything behind your heart, feel that first. And then the block goes behind your head to manage the weight of your head at the back. Have your feet be a little wider than your body. Let your knees fall in towards each other. And take your arms out to the sides. Feel the sacrum, the base of your spine on the ground. Knees bent, feet flat will be the best thing here, especially if you're using props to create an even bigger opening in your body. So if you're using harder surfaces behind your spine, you're going to get a little bit more of an intense opening versus something soft. Choose what's appropriate for you. And then when you come into this, closing your eyes, take your arms straight out towards the sides, and then leave the backs of the hands and the fingernails touching the ground as you start to slide the hands up, bending the elbows so that you come into a variation of a stretch that you feel pretty strongly in your chest and your shoulder area. And the eyes are closed. Feel this in your body. Close your mouth. Begin to pay attention to your breath. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, if you push your heart up towards the sky, that can help to deepen the breath. Mouth is closed, breathing in through the nose. Follow the breath into your chest area. It's where you're doing a lot of the work with whatever props you have, facilitating this extension posture in the spine. So use the breath to stretch even more in your chest area. Breathing deeply. And then bring the breath down to your belly and to the low back and all the way down to the tailbone. See how you can actually move the breath in your body. And then this physical position you're in actually can help to deepen that breath, bring the breath to places where you stretch muscles of posture, of respiration, spinal muscles, core muscles, low back muscles. So I'd like to do a count of a breath today, which is double exhale to the inhale. I'm going to use the number 4 for the inhale and 8 for the exhale. I'll count you through a couple of rounds, see if you could stay with me. And then if not, when you are breathing by yourself, maybe you choose the number 4 for the inhale and 6 for the exhale, or 7 for the exhale. Or maybe you can move up to 5 on the inhale, 10 on the exhale. Whatever it is, trying to extend or double the exhalation. Let your body relax. Let the props do their job. Let them do the work in your body. Exhale. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue breathing on your own, counting, keeping your mind busy with counting, and finding the number that's appropriate for you. Stay with counting, stay with your breath. Direct your breath with counting. Direct your mind to counting and to the breath.
And then finish the breath that you're on. Take 2 more rounds of breath. And then let the breath go back to the body. Bring movement into your fingers. Do a little deeper stretch here with whatever props you have behind your heart by moving your arms up and down slowly along the side of your body. And then explore different aspects, whether you have the elbows bent or the arms straight, lifting the arms overhead, bringing them down alongside your body. And feel that with the eyes closed as you move through these different areas. Go slow. Notice where the stretch is. Is it equal on both sides, deeper one place versus the other? Notice what you notice along the way. And then bring your arms out to the side, straight arms if you can. You could let your fingernails touch the ground if you can, doing a little bit more beyond, a little deeper extension of the spine. Feel that, notice it. Go into a place where you feel the deepest stretch yet today. So move your arms into a place where you feel that. Notice where it is. Is it same thing on the right side and the left side? Noticing in your body what you notice. And take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend your arms. Bring yourself onto your side, off of your props. And take your hand on the ground. You're going to push yourself to bring yourself up. Clear your space of your props. Put them off to the side for later use and bring your blanket onto the mat. So we're going to do a flow, a gentle, soft flow or a slow flow, because as we age, as we move out of our 40s, moving fast in joints with the flowing practice of yoga is counterindicated. Now, for those of you with a pretty strong practice, if you feel that you could be super intentional in your practice and flow safely, of course, always staying in your practice with your mind, but it really is not a good thing to flow through joints. And what I notice is most of us develop dysfunction along the way of aging. And if we flow in that same dysfunctional pattern, we're going to just reiterate it and deepen the grooves. So when you slow your practice down, you can actually notice, where are you sticky? Where do you not flow quite as smooth on right side or left side? And then you can actually make the modifications necessary to your practice. So take your hands forward, take your legs wide, starting to push the pelvis back, bringing the low belly close to the top thighs. Keep your head lifted here. Don't let your head hang. When you come forward, you'll feel the stretch in your armpits, in your chest, and then bring yourself up into extension. So let your tailbone go up towards the wall behind you. Your arms are straight. Your gaze is looking across the room, at least more than halfway up in an extension posture. This is your inhale. As you exhale, you come into puppy dog. Maybe your forehead touches the floor, maybe not. Inhaling deeply into cow or extension. Draw the pubic bone far away from the lower ribs. Feel the stretch in the belly and the deep core muscles. And as you exhale back, feel the stretch underneath the armpits and the front of the body and then the side of the body. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale and exhale. Stay there, or the next time you come forward, bring yourself so the pelvis comes closer to the floor. Deepen the stretch in the front of the body and exhale back into puppy. Inhale. What happens in your shoulder joint as you move from back to front? Is it an even movement? Do you feel it the same in both shoulders? Spread your fingers. And if you have issues and moving in the joints is not good to go through full range of motion, then go to your safe range of motion. One more each direction. Up, inhale, exhale back. And then bring yourself up. Bring yourself out of this for a second. We're going to come into rotation, rotating this trunk. We want to really focus on rotating this part of our body up from the belly button on up. So bring yourself onto all fours, modifying accordingly. For some of you, elevating your hand on a block may make this range of motion a little bit more gentle in your body. And for others, being on the ground is okay. So take one hand underneath your shoulder. The wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder are stacked. Take the other hand behind your head. Bring the elbow pointing down towards the ground. Exhale. And as you inhale, let the elbow go up. Let your gaze follow and open to the side as much as your body will let you. Exhale back. Go slow. Inhale, elbow moves away from you and up and back. One more, come up and stay up. Stay here. Take your hand, put the back of the hand on the sacrum, push your belly button to your spine, tailbone back, and try to open up that shoulder forward. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. So we're stretching a lot of the trunk muscles, rotational muscles. So feeling the stretch, make it be appropriate. Hand goes underneath your wrist, elbow, shoulder. The other hand comes on the back of the head. Exhale. As you inhale, leading with that elbow to open up and exhale slowly back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And then on your next one, you're going to come open, stay here, take the hand, put the back of the hand on the sacrum, push the belly button to the spine, tailbone away from you, and try to rotate with length in your spine and over to the side. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way out, all the way down, come up, take your wrist, move your fingers, block behind your, in between your ankles to sit on your block, or put the block in your heels, or sit crisscross with your legs, whatever your body needs to do. So knees that don't bend, you might want to be in a chair, or you might want to be sitting in a crisscross leg position. Take your hands on your shoulders, bring your elbows forward, up, back, and down. Bring your elbows forward, let your throat lift, open, and stretch. Elbows go out to the side. Let your chin go down towards your chest. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. And then bring yourself back to center. A little side to side action here. Taking your arm up and over, side to side. And then bring your elbow behind your head, elbow up towards the sky. Gaze is forward. Don't let your gaze look down.
and then back to center. A little bit more rotation. Inhale to look up and back to center. Inhale up and back to center. And then let your elbow go. Let yourself look a little farther back. You could take your hand on your opposite leg to create even more rotation. Make sure it feels safe for you. One more each direction. And then bring yourself down. So let's move into doing some postures for strength, strengthening different aspects of our body. We'll begin with plank, strengthening the front of the body, the whole anterior or front chain of the body. So a lot of muscles here and a lot of hip strength here as well with the feet on the ground. So you do what you need to do to modify. If you're going to modify this, the toenails touch the ground, the shins stay on the ground, your hands come forward so your body weight is forward, and then you flatten out the low back to really hold yourself up here. Lower ribs press towards the spine and pubic bone pulls towards the lower ribs. So that would be the modification. Otherwise, flip your toes under, bring yourself up into the plank, really pushing through the heels to stretch the calves and making sure that all the toes are touching the ground. And then spread your fingers. Now, if you wanted to go a little bit more here, you could lift one leg off at a time, coming into a three-legged plank. Switching. Let's do some upper body work with this. Take your hands underneath your shoulders if you want. So you don't have to take one hand off. And then the other. And then to do a real big challenge would be diagonally, to lift one leg off and the opposite hand. Ooh. And then try the other side. And have fun with it. Come back to regular plank or modified. Push back, take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. So as you get stronger in the practice, you can add different levels. Close your eyes. Catch your breath. Mouth is closed, breathing in and out through your nose. Take one more breath. So let's go down on the floor and do a back bend. We're going to do locust. Locust posture is to create a back bend in your body. You're going to lift your body away from the ground to create spinal bone stimulation. And how do we do that? The spine, you're trying to bend the spine into itself. So the goal of this posture is to bend your spine, especially up here in the thoracic, and push the back of the spine into itself to create that compressive force in the back of the spine. So that's the goal with this when we lift off the ground, is to bend the spine. Now you want to protect your low back because the low back will be working. And right here is your pubic bone. So if you push the pubic bone towards the ground when you're on the ground, that'll help to stabilize the pelvis and help protect the low back. So bring yourself here. We're going to come down slowly so we have an opportunity to strengthen our upper body. Some of you may need to plop at the end. And if you need to plop, that's okay. But try to maintain the strength as long as possible. Hands are forward. When you come down, your arms stay in at your body. Don't let them go out to the sides. Okay, so hands stay in at the body. Walk your legs away. Let your toenails touch. Keep your head looking forward and active. As you lower down, push your hands into the ground. Go slow. All the way down. And then bring yourself into a Sphinx posture. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Make sure they're underneath the shoulders and they're not wide.
You want your elbows underneath your shoulders and spread your hands. Push away from the ground and then pull or push your rib cage forward. So your rib cage is moving forward and away from the ground at the same time. Exhale. As you inhale, look over one shoulder towards your heels and then back to center. Inhale over the shoulder and back to center. Inhale up and back. Rotation now higher up in your spine and higher up in the psoas. And then bring yourself back to center. With length, bringing yourself down. Elbows are out to the side. Forehead rests on the back of the hands. Walk your feet together and press the toenails into the ground. Big toes touch. Lengthen your neck as you lower all the way down. Exhale. As you inhale, lift your upper body away from the ground. Let your head come up after you've lifted away from the ground a little bit with the upper back. And then you exhale down. So think of a mama cat. First, let the nape of your neck lift up. Then let your head go to add more of a back bend in the upper spine. Go up so high that you feel the belly stretching. And then bring yourself down. Take your arms off the side so the elbows come right off of the shoulders, shoulder armpits. Spread your hands. Reach your neck nice and long. Let the forehead touch. Exhale. As you inhale, imagine you're pushing a marble away with your nose. And then your head lifts up. Now your cervical spine is back bending. Let that back bend come into the thoracic. Push your heart forward and lift yourself away from the ground, pushing into the floor with your hands. Exhale to lower. You inhale, start the back bend in your neck by pushing the marble away with your nose. Push your heart forward, bending the upper spine by the heart. One more. And then bring yourself down. So warming up the spine. Now let's come into the locust. Take your hands alongside your body. Legs are long, toes are touching. Really stretch your legs. Knees come off the ground. Neck is long. Let the forehead touch. Exhale. And as you inhale, let your legs move away, your arms move away, your upper body moves away from the ground. Roll your legs in the socket so the soles go up towards the sky. Inner thighs are up towards the sky. Push the pubic bone into the floor. See if you can get a little more lift in your upper spine and push your heart forward. Reaching long with your fingers, palms face in, thumbs down to the ground. Reaching as long as you can in this posture. Out the crown of your head, out your fingers, out your toes. If you'd like to clasp your hands, you could clasp your hands, reaching long. Try to bend your spine as much as possible. So push your heart forward. Bring your awareness to the back of the spine, starting at where the spine attaches to the skull. Really bend that by pointing your nose up. And then bring your awareness to your spine where your ribs are. Push it forward. Try to stretch open the front of your spine. Lift your legs, lift your arms. Reach long. Be strong in your body. Reach as high as you can. Take one more breath. And then you're going to come down. You're going to turn your head to the left so that your right cheek and your right ear touch the ground. Let your arms be down alongside your body. Let your shoulders round forward. If you feel too much tension here, you can take your left hand out to the side, straight arm, or bend the elbow. So let gravity here stretch your neck. And then take your legs a little wide, bend your knees, let your legs go side to side. So the only thing moving is the pelvis is tilting side to side, the legs are moving side to side. Your rib cage is stationary. Your head is to the side. Keep your mouth closed. Breathe down to your belly. Take one more breath. We're going to go to the other side. So tuck your chin down towards your chest. Lift your head up. Turn it in the other direction all the way so that you could put the ear and the cheek on the ground. And then if you need to take the right arm out to the side, take the right arm out to the side or bend the elbow. So using gravity here to do a little upper back and neck stretching and noticing if one side's tighter than the other. Usually that's the case. Bringing your legs down. Take a few breaths here to your belly. Take one more breath. So from this position, take your left arm up, roll onto your left side, bend your knees, take your right hand on the ground in front of you, and then bring yourself up from that position. Catch your breath, let your head go side to side. So we're going to come to standing and do some of the standing postures. So let yourself calibrate here to this position from that supine position. For those of you with low blood pressure, moving slower will be more safe for fall prevention. For those of us even without low blood pressure, giving our body a chance to calibrate and pump the blood upwards now from that supine or that prone position that we were in. So take your block, bring your block to the high position. Take your strap off to the side. And then bring yourself onto your knees. So I'd like to come up through a down dog variation today. For those that need to come up from here, bring your leg forward and do that if you need. But the important thing here, down dog, something that's really a part of most yoga practices of a vinyasa flow or a flowing variation, but not really in osteoporosis work or even in healthy yoga for aging joints and aging bodies. The real key is that this is where you bend your hip, which is where we should bend. And you want to keep that safe spinal space between lower heart and belly button. So noticing what your body, the range of motion your body has. Take your legs wide, take your hands wide, flip your toes under. Push yourself back first so you get the deep hip flexion. Keep your head active and then lift your tushy in the air. If you'd like to move your feet back a little bit more here, you can. And then start to straighten one leg at a time where you're pushing the pinky toe edge of the heel towards the ground. Really stretching a lot of the fascia, or in particular, this one big sheath of fascia that's on the whole back of your body. Pushing the heel towards the ground, clearing the cobwebs in your body. Keep your head active. So the head is either looking right down by the wrists or even a little forward. And then push both feet down, bend your hips. Try to get the deepest hip flexion with no spinal flexion. Take one more breath. And then bend your knees, keep your head active. Start to walk your hands back until your heels touch. Your feet should be pretty wide here. So really wide stance all the way the width of the mat. And then let your pinky toe edges be parallel towards the mat. Your spine is nice and neutral. You're not bending your spine, you're bending your knees, you're bending your hips. Take one hand at a time on top of the thighs to come into like a downhill skier position.
deep hip flexion, deep knee flexion. Weight is in the heels. You could even lift the toes up. Point the tailbone back and down. If you want to take one hand off and then the other in this deep squatted position, lots of strengthening for the lower body. Of course, if that's too much, you can come up slowly. Take one more breath and then unbend the joints to bring yourself up. Always the opportunity to strengthen our body. Take it while we can. So let's clear the space, moving the block off to the side. For those of you that need a chair, get a chair. Having a wall is helpful as well. Clearing your space, bending your hips and knees to get down. Always, always being aware of your spine. So let's come into the Tadasana, the mountain, the posture of alignment. Toes touching for those of you with a stronger practice. If balance is an issue, maybe you have a 4 inches between your big toes and even more between the heels. So don't be in a duck-footed position. Be in this aligned position. Active posture. Push your feet down. Push your hands down. Shoulder blades back, center of the head back. And then activate your core. Imagine you are a tube of toothpaste and all the toothpaste is down by your belly. Squeeze your belly and squeeze in and up to activate the core. Push your hands back and down, feet down. Active, really pushing back like you're trying to get to a wall that's about a 1/2 inch behind you. You're trying to let the back of the hands, the back of the upper thighs, the sacrum, the shoulder blades, and the center of your head touch that wall. And then at the same time, you're trying to be as tall as you can. Take one more breath. From here, moving into balance, into tree, onto one foot, bend the toes, knee out to the side, foot up in between the ankle and the heel. Reaching down with the hands, reaching your hands into any position that feels appropriate for you. Coming together with your hands may be a little more supportive, or hands on the waist, elbows back may help you. Or maybe you want to challenge and you want to move your arms and challenge yourself. It's your posture, your practice, your body, your bones. Take one more breath. Bringing your knee forward, go out slowly so that you know you maintain that balance throughout. You're not just coming, sticking it, and then you just throw yourself out of it. Try to maintain that balance throughout. Bring yourself over to the other side. Bend your knee, knee out to the side, foot up in between the ankle and the heel, or the knee and the ankle. Don't press into the inner knee joint with your heel. So you're either in between those two, and being higher doesn't make any better or any more tension for your hip bone or your leg bone. So, and usually you have to bend forward to grab that. So not necessarily a better posture unless it's very easy for you to get in without bending your body to grab your foot, which for most people, that's not the case. Push away from the ground, activate whatever you need, whatever position you need to come into to find that balance and to work with balance. One more breath. And then bring yourself out. From here, we're going to come into chair, deep hip, deep knee flexion. Body, the tushy goes back. So have your legs together, and then starting from the center of your buttocks, shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Exhale, and then inhale, buttocks back, arms up, deep bend in your hips and your knees. Reaching long with your hands, back with your body, deep, deep, deep. Can you go a little deeper today? Or not. Choose what's right for you. Toes off if you can, so you're really weighted back in the lower body. Lower if you can. Gaze is forward or slightly lifted.
Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up and out. Shake your legs. Chair posture, really great posture for lower body strength. So we're going to come into warrior two. If balance is an issue, have a chair in front of you or be near a wall. Coming, and the wider you go in your stance, the more places you're going to be creating tension in your hip or the femur bone and the pelvis. So it's better to be near a wall or have a chair so you'll go wider in your stance than feeling nervous about balance and being in a short stance. From the mountain, come into the widest stance that you could feel comfortable with. And then moving your foot away from you, your heel away from you. Put a slight bend in that front leg, hand on the back thigh, nice long posture. Exhale. And as you inhale, push away from the back foot, the pinky toe edge, raise the front arm, let the back hand go down the thigh, and then bring yourself back. Inhaling into that proper hip and knee flexion in that front leg and spinal alignment. Last time, bring yourself down, stay here. Bring the other hand up. Look back at the other hand. It should be the same height, so feel that in your body. Look back over the front finger. Shoulders are sliding towards each other, the shoulder blades. Shoulders are down, long neck. Bending as deep as you can in that front leg. Reaching long with the back hand, reaching your hands back. Bring your awareness to your feet. Grab the floor with your feet. Feel like you're ripping the floor apart. Push down with your feet, and then bring that length into your torso. Go a little deeper in the front leg if you can. Pushing away from the floor with the back leg. Both feet are active. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up, unbend. Legs are forward, toes are forward. Prepare for the other side. Back foot is back. Take the hand on the back leg. Exhale. Inhale to lower down into that front leg. And then exhale out. Inhale. One more. Push away from the pinky toe of the back foot, very active back foot, to lower into your warrior two. Bring the other hand up. Look back. Hands are at the same level. Look forward. Shoulders are down. Neck is long. Shoulder blades are sliding towards each other. Bring the awareness to the feet. Grab the floor with the feet. Rip the floor apart. Push away and get long in your torso. Bending deeper if that's available to you. Deeply loading in the hip joint, moving the femur bone away from your body, asking your body, your femur bone, to manage what's above it in a way that it's not used to, creating stimulation to the muscles of the upper leg, which in turn will have stronger bones, and at the same time creating bone building stimulation by pulling and pressing on that femur bone. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Let's find mountain to find alignment in the body. Stacking the joints from the feet, ankles, knees, hips, sacroiliac joint, which is where the sacrum and the tailbone are, and then the spine, and then the head on top of the spine, the shoulders over the pelvis. Regulate your breath. Mouth is closed. Slow down your breath. Take one more breath. And then at ease. We're going to come into side angle. You could do this with a block. You could do this with a chair. You could do this without either of those, having your hand on your thigh. So bring the block onto the ground. When you bend down, you're bending at your hips, not at your spine. So make sure you bend safely. Save spinal space, always lower heart to belly button. Take your hands alongside your body, legs are long, and then bring yourself into the position for the legs. Your hand goes down the back thigh as you inhale to bend the front thigh. And then the arms are up. You start from the warrior two. From here, push that back foot into the floor. Reach long. You either put your hand on your thigh. If you had a chair there, you could, but better to put this on your thigh. Or if you're able to come down onto the block, bring the block into the inner leg. And then we're all going to add rotational force to the spine here. So let's set ourselves up. Push away from the ground with the feet. Bend into that front knee a lot, as much as you can. Arm is raised. And now rotate your heart forward, creating some spinal rotation. So we have the pelvic and hip bone stimulation. We're adding the spine. And of course, all the muscles. So not just bones, but all the muscles are getting that stimulation as well. And don't forget to smile. You can take your hand behind your head, reach the elbow back, looking up to keep the spine safe as you add rotation. Take one more breath. Keep that front knee bent. Bring yourself back up and out. Walk to the other side. Do what's appropriate for you. The deeper you bend your joints, the more intense the pressure is. The longer you stay in the posture, the more intense. So modify according to your needs, your body, your bones. Foot away, heel away. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Back hand on the thigh. Exhale. Inhale to push away and load into the front leg. Let that hand go down the back leg. And then bring your hands up into the warrior two position. From here, reaching long, bringing your hand on top of your thigh and the other hand up. If you're wanting to go or want to explore or are ready to go deeper, bring the block on the inner part of the leg and then go a little deeper if you can when you have that block to push away from, not to rest on, but to push away from. And push that arm into your leg, really stretching that adductor, the inner thigh muscles. Long spine, rotate up towards the sky. If you'd like, you can take the hand behind the head, opening up the heart, moving the elbow back, long spine. One more breath. And then bring yourself up and out. Find the Tadasana, the mountain, catch your breath. Mouth is closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Take one more breath. So to move into triangle. Triangle could be done with a block. We could be done without a block, for those of you with a pretty strong practice, or with a chair. The most important thing is alignment and proper flexion of the joints. It's not about getting down to the ground and getting lower. It's about being safe and creating the appropriate forces for bone building. So let's take the block or the chair, whatever it is you're going to use, and bring it onto the side. Block behind you for this one, for those of you that are going to use the block. Coming from your mountain alignment to wide stance, to preparing the body, toes are away, heels away. Keeping the leg straight, really pushing that front leg into the socket. Take your hand down the back leg, and then inhale. Actually, come back. We're going to do that differently. We're going to take the hand on the front thigh. Exhale. And as you inhale, lift your back arm
And keep your hand on your leg as you come down, bending into the hip flexion in the front hip. So only go as far as you can, keeping that leg straight. Maybe you need to be on a chair, or you could come onto the block. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. If you didn't have any props, you could bring your hand on the front of the leg, not fingers on the leg, but pushing away. So whatever it is you have, push into the ground with your feet, bring that into your pelvis, lengthen your spine as long as you can, bending the hip joint, and then add the rotation up towards the sky, spinal rotation in your triangle. Nice, strong, healthy joints, and healthy muscles and healthy bones. Take one more breath. Opportunity to strengthen our core here as we go slow. Push your feet into the floor and slowly, slowly bring yourself up and out all the way. We're going to prepare for the other side. So bending your hip and your knee, not your spine, to move your props, either the chair or the block, to the other side. Wide stance here for your triangle. Toes away, heels away. Front hand stays on that front leg so that you bend at the hip and you lengthen the muscles to do that hip flexion, keeping your spine nice and straight by keeping that front arm there to keep the spine straight. Exhale, and then inhale, let your front hand come down your leg, wherever it goes. So for some of you, it's going to be the top of the chair, the seat, or the block, which is behind you. And with no props, it'll be the hand rotating your spine forward. Push your feet into the floor strongly, ripping the floor apart. Draw that energy up into the pelvis. Lengthen your spine, bend that front hip joint a little bit more, and then rotate yourself up towards the sky. Triangle. Trikonasana. Take one more breath. Opportunity to strengthen the core as you slowly bring yourself back up, all the way out into mountain to catch your breath. Mouth closed and catch your breath. Regulate your breath, slow it down. Take one more breath and then relax. We're going to come into twisted triangle. Harder to do this in the middle of the room. It's the hardest posture. It's balance, flexibility, and strength. The foot position matters. The wider apart your feet are, the more stabilizing it is. The closer together the feet are, like a tightrope, the more challenging balance becomes in your body. You could do this with a chair. You could do this with a block. You could do this near a wall, near a bed, near a sofa. Something where you are feeling stable. The key is that when we come into the twisted triangle, we come into the hip flexion, we start to put pressure on our pelvis, and then we rotate our trunk over that front leg, adding spinal tension. So a lot of bone building tension is created in this part of our body, which is what really matters for us. So let's prepare ourselves. Bring your chair here or a block if that's what you're going to do. Be near the wall if you need.
Then come into the stance that's appropriate for you. Wider stance is more stabilizing for balance. Toes are forward, feet are about 2.5 feet apart. You push your feet into the ground and you lengthen the front of your spine to bend forward into your twisted triangle. You'll feel that happening to the front leg. Then you take your hand either on the top of the chair, the seat of the chair, or if you're using a block, on a block. You push away to get that length in your spine and then to add the rotation into the spine. Hand is on the waist, elbow moves back. That'll help bring the shoulder blade to the upper spine to actually help keep you safe as you add spinal rotation. Bring your awareness to the back foot. Push the back foot into the floor and see if you can get a little bit more spiraling to come up from the earth, creating that all the way at the base of your body, that tension, that motion. Front leg is straight and you're rotating over the front leg, turning in the direction of the front leg. Take one more breath. In order to come out, you bend the front leg to take the tension out. You keep your spine nice and long as you bring yourself up and out, coming over to the other side, moving your props, whether that's the chair or the block, and bringing yourself to this side. Setting yourself up, bringing your foot forward, foot back, stance wherever you need it, either the wider stance, more narrow stance, setting yourself up appropriately. Push your feet into the floor, and then bending forward at the hip joint, long spine, you come forward, hand goes on the back of the chair diagonally across, seat of the chair, or onto the block. Push away from the block, lengthen your spine, and rotate over the front leg. Legs are straight. And then find a little bit more at that back foot, the big toe edge. Push that big toe edge in. See if you can get a little bit more spiraling action to come into your body. Press your heart forward. Keep the front of your spine nice and long and open. The space, the safe spinal space between the heart and the belly button. Take one more breath. To come out, you bend that front knee. Bring yourself up. Find your Tadasana mountain. Take one more breath. So we're going to come down onto the ground, do some back bending for more spinal bone stimulation, then pull on our pelvis, stretching our legs. So you're going to need your blanket and your strap. Blanket goes to the top of the mat, strap on the side. To come down, bring yourself down by having a wide stance in your legs, and then lower slowly into the joints of the legs. Go slow. Slower is harder, and it develops more strength along the way. Bring yourself onto your buttocks, and then bring yourself, let's do Navasana both. Let's do a core work and hip flexor strength. You're on your pelvis. You walk your feet closer to your body. You bring one leg up, then the other. This is Navasana. Elbows are out to the side. If you'd like to take your hands off or one at a time, strengthening your core. Knees are drawing towards your shoulders. Heart is pressing towards your knees, keeping that nice lengthened spine. Don't round your spine. Head could be forward. Gaze could be forward. Take a little tension off the head and neck area. Really push your heart up towards your knees and your knees towards your heart. Take one more breath and then bring yourself down. Let's come onto the side, all the way down onto your blanket. Get your strap. Make a loop in the strap. So make a loop in your strap, or if you don't have a loop, tie your strap. We're going to do bridge with this. And if you don't have a strap, you don't have to use a strap for this. You could even put a block between your knees for bridge. If you use a strap, you get a little higher because you get a little bit more pelvic freedom, and we use the side muscles to stabilize the pelvis so you can get a little higher. The goal is to bend your pelvis. The goal is to bend your spine and to put as much compressive force on the back of your spine as possible and to open and stretch the front of the spine. Back body contracts and is active. Front body lengthens. Take the blanket away from the back of your head. Arms are in the ground, and lift up your shoulders, slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Keep your elbows bent or have your arms down alongside your body. You decide. Long neck. Walk your feet closer to your body. Push out on the strap. Tilt your pelvis back so the low back flattens. Exhale. Inhale. Push your feet into the floor as you exhale. Push out on the strap. Lift your pelvis up. Press your arms into the ground. Close your eyes. Feel your pelvis move away. Then feel your spine bending. Keep going. Push your arms into the ground so your shoulder blades push into your heart, lifting your heart up towards the sky and towards your forehead. Open the front of the spine and very active back body and side body. Pushing out on the strap, feet into the floor, squeeze the tushy like crazy. Bend your spine. Lengthen the knees away from you and unbend your hip joint. If you know how to clasp, you could clasp, really pressing your arms into the ground, shoulder blades into your rib cage to stretch and increase the back bend in your spine. Push down, push away from the ground really strongly. Take one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself down, one vertebra at a time. Lift your heels up. Tilt your pelvis back. Stretch the low back as you bring yourself all the way down. Blanket behind your head. Knees into the chest. Rock side to side. So one last posture, it's a stretch, not to be hanging out in the stretch. We're here to strengthen the pelvis. So this is not just a little stretch. This is pulling on your pelvis as much as you can. Take the strap in the right foot closer to the arch and then closer to the heel. So not near the top of the foot, but the back of the foot. Take your hands, wrap your hands around the strap pretty high. Elbows are still bent. Pull the leg down in the socket. You could straighten the left leg if you'd like. Push the right leg away with the muscles. Keep the leg straight, no bend in the knee, and then guide the leg towards the wall behind you. Pull down, push away with the muscles, and pull back. Those are the actions of this posture. You're trying to feel this where your leg attaches to your body. Feel a very strong sensation of your right buttock pressing into the ground. And then try to push your tailbone into the ground. So you keep yourself in a neutral pelvis. Push the leg away, pull back. You're pushing and pulling on the pelvis. Take one more breath. Let's bring the left foot up. Put the strap near the arch, closer to the heel. Right leg straightens if that's appropriate for your body. Create as much action in that left leg as you can. Firm the left leg up, push it away. Pull down strongly with the strap so you feel the left buttock in the ground. And then enter the posture by pulling the leg back towards the wall behind you. The whole time you're working, push the leg away from you. Pull the leg back. So do that opposing action. And then try to push your tailbone towards the ground. Feel the tension of the left buttock in the ground. That's where you want to feel this. Leg is straight. You want to feel this right where the leg attaches to the body. Push away, pull back. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend. Draw the knees into your chest. Relax the low back. Bring yourself into a happy baby. Hold on behind your hamstrings, knees are towards your armpits, soles of the feet are up towards the sky, and then rock side to side. And then draw your knees to your chest, side to side. We're going to come into Shavasana, final rest. If there's anything else you need to do, find that in your body. Bringing yourself into straight legs, wide legs, arms are to the side, keeping your mouth closed, connecting to your breath. Posture of integration. Stay with your breath, regulate your nervous system. Stay in the bone building zone. Stay in the present moment. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to bring movement into your fingers, your toes, your feet, your hands. Bending your knees, draw the knees into the chest. Eyes are closed. Let your awareness go up and down your body, feeling what you did today in the practice, making sure it was enough, not too much, and just right. So you can modify every time you show up to do your practice. Coming onto your side, hand on the floor, pushing away, bring yourself up. Close your eyes. Bringing your hands together at your heart. Press your heart to your hands, hands to the heart. Let's close the practice with sound, a humming sound, to settle the body, settle the mind, and settle you at your deepest layer. Call it your soul, or whatever resonates with you. We're going to use a humming sound. Let's take a big exhale to create a lot of space. Inhale all the way down to the bottom of your spine. Hand to the forehead as we bow in gratitude. Namaste. Today was the lucky number 13. 13 strong postures held for a pretty long time, all of them. And noticing for yourself what is appropriate for you. And noticing where you're seeing the gains in your practice. Because that could be very satisfying and make you want to keep showing up more and more and more to keep your body, your bones, and your mind strong forever. All right. Yes, I'm going to say that was in the category of stronger. So hopefully appropriate for whoever is here, whoever tells me they're here. Because there's plenty of people that come that don't always reveal until later. So how was that, ladies? There might be some men there, but I don't know. I do bring it, Nicole. Hopefully you felt I brought it today. Maybe I lost you guys along the way. Okay, good, Jean. Yeah, of course. Well, it's very helpful for me when you guys have something that's going on because it helps me dive into my treasure chest of tools to share. And we all have a neck and we've all experienced stiff necks. Oh, thanks. Stronger. Yeah. I am She's Way. I feel that way. And I'm really working on it. Like that's my thing is really, really working on stronger. Oh yeah, it was a long locus. It was because I was very into explaining the back bending in it this time. And that's what I've been doing again lately is really explaining the why behind what we're doing. Great, Beth. So nice to have you here. All right, Beth, you should be receiving your second hair mineral because I mailed that off this week. And let me see who else. Terry, if you're here too, I ordered yours. All right. My next Healthy Gut, Healthy Bones is starting. So anyone that wants to look deeper and run functional labs, reach out to me because I'm starting the next group now. And you can only get in that group 3 times a year. And it will not be again until February of 2024. So if you want to look deeper at root causes, reach out to me and we'll run labs and look deeper. All right. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, ladies. And that's it. Have a great day. Bye.